folks, this is Andy White down here at Bobby Ledbetter's Twin City, and I want to invite everybody to come down here and see us. We're located at 1015 Gulf Avenue South here in downtown Fort Payne, and I want everybody to come down and check out our inventory. Bobby always keeps the inventory refreshed. We've got new stuff coming in every single day, a lot of stuff going out every day. Listen, we appreciate everybody in the area coming down here, letting us earn your business. I'm telling you what, this year's been great for us, and every year we get nominated and then we get voted in as the best in DeKalb. So I want to tell everybody we appreciate y'all doing that for us. Let us know we're doing everything right. So y'all come down here and see us, 1015 Gulf Avenue South. You can shop us on the web at Twin City Used Cars, or you can just give us a call at 256-844-2210.
Welcome into the Mountain Valley News North Jackson Press Pigskin Preview, week number, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Six, I believe.
6? Yeah, because some people's played 6 games.
Yes. So
this will be 6.
Or yeah. So that's hard to keep up with.
I
guess we should just say this is game number.
This is game number.
Was it
this will be game
7
number
for
7.
some?
Yes.
Yeah, so game 7, week 6.
Yes.
So anyway, it's crazy. So let's talk about last week, man. Some great football games, some exciting games, and it sets up for some exciting games this week.
Yes, it does.
First one we'll talk about, of course, at Fort Payne and Etowah. That was the Mountain Valley News Game of the Week last week.
And it turned out to be the game of the week.
It turned out to be.
It's a great game.
Of course, I had saw the final score, 35-21, and I thought, well, Fort Payne. But that was really a close football game.
Every time Fort Payne scored, Etowah scored.
Yeah.
And then right at the end, I think sometime in the fourth quarter late, Blaylock scored another touchdown to put them up by 2.
Yeah. So, a great football game, and it was so good that Fort Payne
is our Mountain Valley News Team of the Week.
Absolutely. So congratulations to the Fort Payne Wildcats. A big win over a good Etowah team. Of course, that's we've talked about it's a rivalry game, and Fort Payne hung on and won that game. And Hunter Love had a great football game. He had 194 yards and had 2 touchdowns. J.D. Blaylock had 50 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. And so not only is Fort Payne the team of the week, but Hunter Love is also
the player of the week.
So congratulations,
player of the week
to Hunter Love.
Yeah, I had a great game.
If you see him, you think, well, he's a big old offensive lineman.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
But he is a really good running back. And Fort Payne, talking to Roger Friday night, of course, and he said, I think the first 2 games really has helped us going down the stretch, and I think he's probably right.
Yeah.
And, of course, they've got a big game coming up this week, and we'll talk about it in a little while. So, but, again, Fort Payne, like I said, it was a close ball game back and forth, and they pulled away in the fourth quarter late and won that game. But a big win for Fort Payne. Next, we had the Valley Head Tigers and the Ider Hornets. And, Ider had not played a game in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And,
they were prepared.
They had to be excited about playing, and this game really got close in the second half. At halftime, the game was 20-9, and then actually Valley Head scored and pulled it to 26-9. And then the next thing you know, Ider is back in the football game.
Right. Hunter Robinson got on track. He had 172 yards on 22 carries.
Yeah.
And 98. Well, it said he had 98 return yards also, which is 270
total yards. Yeah.
He had a lot of yards.
I know Jordan Burt got things going. He ran a 55-yarder just right off the bat to put them up. I think it was about 8 minutes in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And so he had another good game for Valley Head. But man, what a football game!
Valley Head. We was talking about how many yards Hunter Robinson had. Burt had 135 and 2 TDs. Morgan had 130, right around 130 and 2 TDs. or 1 touchdown, and then Bain had 95 and 2 touchdowns.
I mean, they got 3 really good.
Three kids
running backs.
can
I mean,
run
you
the
look at that. I
ball.
mean, they're averaging. Them 3 guys are probably averaging of over 300 a game a lot of times. So,
altogether, they had about 400 and something yards.
So very good group of players, and of course they're young too. I mean, of course Bert's a senior,
but the other kids
are young kids. So Coach Vincent has done a great job up there, and he's building for the future. I got a lot of young players that are really stepping up and playing big time football right now. So big win for Valley Head, and they have a big region game coming up this week. So we'll talk about that one in a few minutes. Man, next game we talked about was Geraldine. Sachs came down to Geraldine, and boy, this game got out of hand. And again, you look at the score and you think, well, that wasn't just terrible, but it was 46-0 at halftime.
Yeah, it was 32-0 in the first quarter.
Yes, and just they basically, I'm sure, pulled their starters and in the second half. But looking at Geraldine, Caleb Hall had a great football game. He had 137 yards and 2 touchdowns, the only 2 touchdowns they had on the night. So tough loss.
Sachs is in there with Piedmont and Walter Welborn, and they're probably just as good as those teams.
Oh yeah.
They just got to get it on track. They did.
Yeah. Tough loss for Geraldine. That's 2 in a row for them. But of course they've got a game this week that they should win and get them back in on the winning column, and we'll talk about that one in a few minutes. The next game, of course, we're going to talk about the Plainview Bears, defeated Crossville 34-20. Sloppy football game. Yeah. 5 turnovers, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I believe that's right.
And Coach Ledbetter, of course, we talked to him Friday night. He wasn't too happy with the way it turned out. I mean, he was happy they won.
He was happy for the kids, getting a win, and it was senior night for the Bears. So those kids, he was happy for them getting a win, but he said he just couldn't be happy for the game the way we played. So
and I bet it wasn't. I bet it hadn't been just all that fun at practice.
I don't. Probably not. I would say no.
But a big win for them, and I think you got some stats on Plainview.
Which they ran the ball. I mean, they fumbled 5 times, but they had 396 yards of offense.
Wow.
And that's pretty good. Jathan Underwood had 187 yards and 2 touchdowns himself.
I knew he had a great game because I, of course, listening to it on the radio, and I kept hearing him call his name a lot. And I know he broke one big long run for a touchdown. And
if I'm not mistaken, he went 83 yards on the first play for a touchdown.
I think that's right. That's the one I think I heard. Yeah. And defensively, they're still playing good. Those kids are stepping up, and they got a huge football game this week. Probably as big a game as it will be this week. So but we'll talk about that game in a few minutes. But the next one, the Fife Red Devils, they had what's the word? No, was this one? This one didn't really count. Not a record. I can never remember that. Not a record game with a really, really good football team.
A really good Clark County. They were a 4A team. They've dropped down to 2A. They still got all the kids that played 4A, evidently. Right. They're a really good football team. Yeah. Fife's defense is very good. They held Clark County to 2 first downs. Wow. The whole game. Neither team got a first down in the third quarter.
Oh, my gosh.
Both teams are pretty good.
That's wild. That's crazy. Yeah. And I think Clark County was undefeated. Is that right?
Yes, they were undefeated.
So, all right, I know we got to go to a commercial break. When we come back, we'll finish talking about the Fife and Clark County game, and we'll cover the rest of them, and then we'll talk about this week. So we'll be back with you in just a moment.
Southern State Bank in Rainsville, we excel within the walls of our bank and outside these walls, too. We're actively working with area schools to improve classrooms and supporting area student-athletes on fields and courts. We work and worship at most churches in the Rainsville community. We also work to enhance the lives of area seniors, thanking them for a lifetime of contributions. We're the bankers and corporate citizens at First Southern State Bank. True community banking.
Hi, this is Adam Hill, Operations Manager at Johnson Heating and Cooling. Are you having problems with your current heating and cooling system or just want it serviced? Give us a call today and let one of our NATE certified home comfort specialists come see what we can do for you. We offer 24/7 emergency service to our customers. We service most makes and models, and offer a free second opinion on unit replacement.
Call Johnson Heating and Cooling today, Alabama's largest and most awarded TVA dealer.
The City of Stevenson.
Welcome back into the Pigskin preview, and we're sitting here discussing Fife Red Devils, and I think Sammy's got some stats on that game from some of the players.
Yeah, Ike Rowell had 161 yards rushing on 29 carries, and threw a 32-yard TD pass to Brody Dalton. That was the Ike Rowell show on that one. I know, they said didn't have but no first downs for either team in the third quarter, and I think Fife was up maybe 14-0 at half.
Yeah.
Scored another one in the fourth quarter.
Man, that's crazy.
Rowell
really
had a good game.
Yeah, really good game and he's a threat. I mean, he is
any play, yes.
Yeah, and I don't. Of course, I know the Pyron kid was there last year and was really good and the MVP of the state championship.
Yeah.
But Ike Rowell has stepped right in, and I don't think they've missed a beat.
I don't think they have either.
So a big win for Fife, and again sets up a big game this week, and we'll talk about that one. Sylvania traveled over to Holly Pond, another big game there, and this Sylvania team is playing good football
They
right
are.
now.
They scored 5 first-half touchdowns in this game.
Wow.
And Brody Smith, he only attempted 3 passes, completed 3 passes for 138 yards and 2 TDs.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think
pretty good
Wilbanks caught one of them real long ones, and then somebody else caught a real long one.
Yeah. I did see where one of their defensive players, lineman, picked off a pass and run it back for a touchdown, and so they had
got him a touchdown.
Big night for Sylvania, and this is another one of those teams. They're in, of course, they've already played Fife. Fife beat them, but
they're in the running for the number
more
2
than likely
spot, yeah.
the Sylvania and Plainview and Geraldine, and I don't know if there's anybody else that's probably about it. Those 3 are playing for, well, I shouldn't say that. Plainview's still in the thick of things to have a chance to win
first place.
To win first place, but then you got the second place, which is still home field advantage,
right.
And so that could be a big one. So Sylvania right in the thick of things right now with that, and we'll see how that shakes out. Next, we had Woodville. They traveled over to Decatur Heritage, and I just found out a lot of information about them today. Decatur Heritage is ranked number 7 in the state, and it showed.
Yeah, I know Decatur Heritage always has a really good team.
They have always had a really good team. I think they had a lot of players returning from last year, they said, and they scored the first 47 points.
Yeah,
and that was in the third quarter. They scored their last touchdown on a 65-yard pass in the third quarter, and I think they pulled their players. And Woodville, was able to coach a couple of late touchdowns, and Cam Talley and the Pete kid, of course, both had really good games for them, and if you can say really good games.
Yeah.
So they were kind of the standouts for Woodville, but Woodville, they've got a big game coming up, a big region game coming up this week.
Yes.
And the other thing I didn't know, Decatur Heritage. No, I guess that's right. They're a Class 1A team, so.
They're just in a different
really
region than
good
those,
Class 1A team.
And at one point, I think they might have been in the region with Valley Head.
I think that's right. Yeah.
And those schools.
They last year, I think, or year before last one, because I remember picking Valley Head over Decatur Heritage, and didn't turn out really good.
Yeah.
So next, this was a crazy football game. North Jackson and Scottsboro. North Jackson has been lighting up the field offensively. Scottsboro shut them down.
Scottsboro held them to 6 points. Scottsboro must have played some really good defense.
They did.
Because that North Jackson offense is rough. I mean,
oh yeah.
Of course, their offense, I think, tried to keep them off the field.
They did. They slowed things down and tried to hang on to the ball a lot. But Scottsboro's defense held North Jackson 252 total yards, which
seems like a lot.
Seems like a lot, but not when you're getting 600 and 700 yards a game. So they basically shut them down. Again, Dalton Morris had another good game, even though they didn't score a lot of points. He had 162 yards passing on the night, but just it was one of those nights where they could not offensively get it going. And you got to credit Scottsboro for it. And, looks like Scottsboro is playing pretty good ball. And, again, that sets up the big game with Fort Payne this week. And big Top Cat Trophy game. So that's going to be a very interesting football game. Next, you had North Sand Mountain, and man, they're rolling along.
They're just on a roll.
They defeated Cedar Bluff 28-7. And, of course, the Bale kid, Lake Bale, doing his thing, and he stepped in for the kid last year who I didn't think you would be able to replace him. I thought it would be a step down, maybe.
Yeah, I thought it, but he hadn't missed a beat.
And Lake Bell has stepped it up and played.
I don't know how many touchdown passes he threw, but I've already seen three or four right here.
He had three passing touchdowns with 155 yards, and he rushed for 96 yards and a touchdown. So he is an athlete, and it's kind of like having Ike Rowell, North Sand Mountain, and he has stepped up and he is playing really, really good football. And of course, the North Sand Mountain's got a big game coming up this week.
Rivalry game and big region game.
A big region, yeah. And then last, we'll talk about the Pisgah Eagles. They traveled to DAR, who is a 4A team, and it didn't turn out the way Pisgah wanted, but Pisgah hung in there. I mean, it was tied at the end of the first quarter, and it was only 14-7 at halftime. And DAR come out second half and put up 14 points and held Pisgah without scoring. And again, I know and I should have wrote this down. I didn't. I forgot to write it down. The kid that plays quarterback, but they move him to receiver a lot of times. Golly, but
Holcomb plays quarterback when he's not.
Gosh,
okay.
Anyway, he had a very good game, and Coach Pruitt. One of the things I saw, he said he really was proud of how they battled in it. Yes, Law. Yes. Parker Law. Yes,
that's right.
He had a fantastic game. And Coach Pruitt said he made 4 catches that were just unbelievable catches in that game.
He's going to be a good football player.
And he, excuse me, he said that this team is getting better each week, and I think he's right. I think they are, and I think you'll see them turn it around going in these last few games, and they could surprise some people.
Yeah.
So, a tough start for them, but they are building for the future. And the one thing, they are starting a lot of young kids.
Yeah.
And so they're going to be a team that people's going to have to look out for going forward over the next few years. So
that's right.
That kind of covers this week's games, and we'll talk about last week's games. Now we're going to be talking about this week's games if it's not time for a commercial, and we still have time. I'm asking.
No, we didn't talk about Cornerstone, did we?
Oh, I'm sorry, we
really
did not.
Don't want to talk about it. It wasn't good.
Right.
But now the team they played, 3-time state champion or 3-time Christian Leagues champions. They're in Mississippi. It's like 2 states or whatever.
Very good football team.
Scoring 60 points a game or so. Really good football team. And Cornerstone played with them a little bit there and put like 10 points on the board. And so they're making improvements.
They're making some improvements. Of course, their first year in 8-man football, and they're still trying to figure out what's going on.
It is different from 6-man.
No doubt about it. And they've got a home game coming up this week, and so that should help them. And we'll talk about that one. But now I think we need to go to a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll talk about this week's football games.
They take you where you want to go, where you need to go, and sometimes where you thought you'd never go. If we're lucky, the road of life is smooth, and the curves are just part of the adventure.
All for a better life.
Enjoy your road. Alpha Insurance.
All for a better life.
Pay your bill, file a claim, and more with the Alpha to Go app.
The city of Rainsville, the crossroads of Sand Mountain. Sylvania Pharmacy, your friend, your drugstore. W.T. Wilson Funeral Home.
Welcome back into the Pigskin preview. And again, we've talked about last week's games, and now we get to talk about this week's games. And man, there's some great football games this week. And I'm going to have to slide this over here because I can't half see.
Yeah.
First one we'll talk about, is West Point traveling to Crossville. This is not West Point up in New York.
No,
if you're thinking that, this is a
I
West
think
Point
they're in Walker County, maybe. They're
around Coleman area,
Coleman,
somewhere in that area. And I don't know. First time I'd ever heard of them. To be honest with you.
Well, we played back in the days when we were playing baseball. We played some playoff games at West Point. We were playing somebody else, but they had to use West Point's facilities.
Okay.
So we played there at West Point at one time.
And,
but anyway,
looking at that, they haven't won a game.
Right.
Of course, Crossville hadn't won a game, so somebody's going to win a game this week.
Somebody's going to get their first win.
First win, and
Crossville at home. Crossville played Plainview pretty well at times.
They did.
So it's
I think they've got a good opportunity. Homecoming for Crossville.
Good opportunity for them.
So a very good opportunity for them to get a homecoming win. And so this Crossville team, we've talked a lot about them. They're Class 5A. If they were Class 3A, they'd be a really good football team.
They'd probably be competitive, yeah.
They'd be competitive, but they're in a tough region, a tough classification, and it's just tough on them right now. Next, we've got Fort Payne at Scottsboro, and man, you talk about a great football game, rivalry. And again, I think we may have talked about this Friday night, or maybe we talked about it on last week's show. Seems like every week Fort Payne has a rivalry game.
It seems like every week. You say, well, that may not be a region game, but that's a big rivalry game.
Right.
Well, this one is a big rivalry game.
It really is
a
big rivalry game and a big region game. So, not only they're playing for a region win, they're playing for the Top Cat Trophy, which has been a tradition for as long as I can remember.
Yeah. And over the years, there've been some great players playing this game.
Oh, absolutely. And, again, looking at Fort Payne, of course, you got Hunter Love and Blaylock and, you just keep naming.
Yeah.
They're really playing good. And then you look at Scottsboro, started out a little bit slow, but over the last 2 weeks, they've really started playing better football, or the last 3 weeks now. They had a tough time with Springville, and that game was close till the fourth quarter. But,
the name you mainly hear most of the time is Manning because he's successful on offense.
Very successful.
But they're obviously got some good defensive players playing them, and evidently a little speed, or they wouldn't be able to hold North Jackson 6 points.
Yeah, that's right. So that's going to be a great football game on Friday night. Next, we've got Brindley Mountain. They'll be traveling down to Geraldine. Geraldine's homecoming. Geraldine's lost their last 2 football games. But I'm pretty sure they got a good opportunity to get a win this week.
They do have a good opportunity here.
And, nothing like getting back on a win after having a couple of losses. And that can make
especially on homecoming.
Oh, absolutely. So I think Geraldine is they got to be excited about the opportunity this week, and we'll see how that one shakes out. Next, we got Victory Christian. They will be at Ider. Ider's homecoming. A lot of homecomings this week. And so,
I just looked up Victory Christian's record. They're like 3-3, 1-3 in the region or something like that. Don't know a whole lot about them.
Right.
But I do know Ider played Valley Head tough.
Yes, and Valley Head's a good football team.
Valley Head and Ider has got some athletes, and they're big.
Yes.
They're young, but they're big.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a great opportunity for Ider to get there. I think it would be their second win, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they got opportunity.
And, of course, again, they were out for 2 weeks and didn't get to play, and they got to be excited to come back and play as good as they played last week. They have to be feeling pretty good about this week's game after the way they played last week. So that should be a big one. Sylvania travels down to Asbury. Again, this is a region game. You need to win it. I would, Sylvania is playing really good football, and I'll be shocked if they don't get the win there.
I think Asbury's 0-5. Asbury's improved football team from before, but this gives Sylvania an opportunity to get a lot of kids healthy. A lot of kids can play.
Yeah.
It'll be a good game for them to get
absolutely
what we'd call a little break or something there.
Oh yeah. Next, we got Appalachian traveling to Valley Head. And, of course, we just talked about Valley Head. Since the section game, they have rode right along up till last week and struggled a little bit with the Ider. I don't know if they got the lead and just kind of – I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah, I don't know. Because their offense was pouring it on.
Oh, yeah. And then Ider made a comeback and made it close. So kind of a little bit of wake-up call maybe for Valley Head as they go back into region play this week. And I think is that a region game?
It is.
I think it is a region game. Yeah.
Appalachians 1 and 3. But they play some pretty good teams. They're down there in Aniana, where there's a lot of talent around.
Right. So that should be a good football game. And Valley Head, they're knocking on becoming region champs here with a couple more wins. They can lock that thing up. So hard to believe we're already talking about teams that can lock up the region. But we are in week 6 or game 7, if you want to call it. So we'll see how that shakes out. Next we have Madison County traveling to North Jackson. It's North Jackson's homecoming.
That is a tough
That
opponent.
is a tough opponent for homecoming. I couldn't believe when I saw that. I'm thinking, y'all are playing Madison County.
Gunnersville did beat Madison County bad. Gunnersville is a very
really
good football team. Madison County was undefeated going into that game. Them and Gunnersville were undefeated. So they've just got the one loss, and they'll be fired up on get back on the winning track at North Jackson. So North Jackson's going to have to be focused this week.
They'll have to be focused, and I would think they, after last week, in a game they probably felt like they should have won.
Right.
I think they'll probably be focused this week. Coach Tygard can't be happy about that loss, and we'll see how that shakes out. That should be a good football game up at North Jackson this week, and we'll see how that one goes. Next, we got North Sand Mountain at Pisgah. This is one of those big rivalry game.
Yeah, it
big
is.
region game this year.
It's kind of like the North Jackson Scottsboro.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Pisgah's got enough athletes that they could cause problems for North Sand. Now, North Sand Mountain, if they're not focused, North Sand Mountain's got athletes. They're a really good football team, but they better play good.
They can't overlook Pisgah. That's for sure. Because Pisgah's playing better.
Being a big rivalry like they are, next door neighbors, kind of like us in Fife.
Yeah.
Plainview and Fife. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Coach Kirby was not happy with the way the North Sand Mountain game. They actually wasn't any scoring whatsoever in the first half.
Yeah.
In his game, and he said we have got to get better. And again, Pisgah's getting better. So this again, rivalry football game, all the different things that's going on. So this could be a close football game. So we'll see how that one goes. And then we got Faultville going over to section. Of course, Faultville undefeated. And, they're kind of in the same place with North Sand Mountain. They can, a couple of wins here, and they can actually, get a region championship. Of course, North Sand Mountain and Faultville's got to play here.
They got to play for it, right.
And so that should, if both can hang on and continue to win like they're winning right now.
They will host. Both of them very well lock up hosting it, after probably about this one.
Probably, and it sets up a huge game against each other down the road here in a couple of weeks too. So that could be a big football game. Then we got Cedar Bluff going over to Woodville. Of course, Cedar Bluff struggling a little bit this year. I don't know. I meant to look their record. Have they won a game? I know if they have, I think it's just one. I don't think they won a game. So, but Woodville again, a young football team, new coach. I think this is a great matchup.
I think it is too. It's one of those.
I could go either way.
I have a clue who's going to win this one.
And so it is at Woodville. Am I right? Yeah, it is at Woodville. So we'll see how that one goes. And then we got a couple of college games that we're going to talk about. And then we're going to go and come back and talk about our team game of the week. But Alabama will be hosting Texas A&M. Texas A&M
really struggling right now.
Last week
with probably what they claim to be one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC.
Oh yeah, and actually Vanderbilt's quarterback probably had a better game than Texas A&M's quarterback did. And of course Alabama, they played really good for 3 quarters. They pulled a lot of starters and let some of the younger kids play, and they gave up some plays and let it. Well, it still wasn't close, but it doesn't look like it did. I mean, they pretty much dominated for 3 quarters, and so Auburn and Georgia, man, what a big football game! I did hear today or yesterday the Daniels kid from Wake Forest will be dressed out and playing if he can win the starting.
He just got released, so that's what I'm starting to say. He ain't really been practicing much.
Yeah, I saw where Coach Kirby said, he's going to be back, but he may not be starting. He's got to win the position. So Auburn, They beat Kentucky. Didn't play a great football game, but they played good enough to get the win. And Nick's had a really good game, and he can thread the needle.
You talk about. I know we don't have a lot of time to talk about these, but the Pirates' first SEC game.
Oh my gosh!
And how much crazy stuff happened in that one? His first, not because of him coaching, but it's just crazy stuff happens when he's there.
And I mean, you look at that football game. I don't think there was anybody that would have picked Mississippi State to beat LSU.
Oh.
And they did.
I mean, had to put that in there.
And pretty much dominated it. So, but the next game we got on this week, we don't have LSU, is Missouri and Tennessee. Tennessee, I thought, probably an upset, if you want to say it, over South Carolina. I would think it was at South Carolina.
I thought Tennessee would beat them, but I knew it was going to be a really close game. I thought, and I thought Tennessee had a really good opportunity.
Yeah, I did too.
Quarterback still struggles a little bit at Tennessee at times, and he looks like a Peyton Manning at times or something.
Right.
He's really good.
But they got opportunity to stretch their winning streak to 8 games this week. And, that's big.
Like the biggest, other than LSU, do they have the biggest winning streak in the SEC? LSU's down now.
And LSU, so they have the biggest winning streak in the country right now. So that's kind of got this week's games. We got our game of the week coming up, so we need to go to our break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the Mountain Valley News Game of the Week. Welcome back in to the Mountain Valley News Game of the Week, and I mean, if you hadn't figured out who it is yet, you probably don't know a whole lot about football.
That's correct.
We've got 2 undefeated football teams. It's a region game. They're neighbors. They're kinfolks. I'm trying to think what all Bum had said. I read his article, and he was naming all the things they were. They were kinfolks and all these kind of different things, and he was exactly right. They are.
Yes, they are.
And, of course, it's Plainview and Fife. Fife will be traveling up to Plainview. You don't even have to say anything about Fife. I mean, they are.
Fife's on an 11-game winning streak against Plainview.
Yes.
They've won 11 in a row.
They're back-to-back state champs with an opportunity to be back-to-back state champs.
Exactly.
And so,
lots of seniors.
Yeah, loaded with talent. Loaded with talent.
Big, physical,
Coach
all Benefield team.
300-plus victories. I mean, you can say all those things. Okay, let's talk about Plainview now. Plainview comes in, struggled for 2 years.
Yeah.
And they come in this year, and I don't know how many. There probably wasn't a whole lot of people in Rainsville that thought Plainview would be sitting at 5-0 at this point.
Probably not.
But they are 5-0. They're playing really good football. They're making good decisions. Of course, last week wasn't one of their better games.
Yeah.
And they can't play.
They're big. They're physical. I mean, you name everything other than the winning the years past.
Right.
With Plainview's team this year, they're scoring points. Their offense looks good. Their defense is playing solid.
Well.
They've got big kids. They like to hit.
Oh yeah.
We'll just. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a really old school slobber knocker. I guess.
Oh, absolutely.
Bum says sometimes.
And the thing, Plainview can't turn the ball over like they turned it over against Crossville.
That's
expect
correct,
to beat a Fife team who very seldom makes mistakes.
They make. I don't know of a mistake.
I probably couldn't tell you. And they made it last time they made a mistake.
They don't make many, or we
they
would
don't
know
make
something.
many, and they're just a well balanced football team. But this Plainview team, they have looked really good this year, and they've got to be excited. They feel like, hey, this is the first time in a long time that we've had an opportunity that we feel like we can compete with Fife. And I'm talking about players here. I think they feel like they can win this football game.
They were first time they've been 5-0 since 2017.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
And like you said, Plainview hasn't beat Fife 11 years.
11 years, I think.
And so
2008 maybe was the last time.
A lot of excitement in this game, and so
a lot of excitement of the fans.
Oh yeah, a lot of trash talking.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of lunches bought after this ball game.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. So
not me.
Yeah. So anyway, there you have that. Is our Mountain Valley News Game of the Week, And now we get to pick them. We got to pick them quick because our producer says we're running
we might skip that,
way over. But
we'll
we
try.
need to do it. I don't think we did it last week, did we?
No, we skipped it.
We did skip it last week, but we're gonna pick them this week. So our first game, West Point at Crossville. Who you picking?
Crossville at home. I picked Crossville.
I'm going Crossville too. Next we've got New Life at Cornerstone.
Cornerstone at home again.
I'm going Cornerstone at home. We've got Fort Payne at Scottsboro.
I think Fort Payne's, I don't know. I don't know about Scottsboro. Fort Payne's been solid more of the season, so I'm going with Fort Payne.
I'm going with Fort Payne, but I think this will be a close football
game. I think it could be a close game.
We're going to skip that and we'll wait till the end on that.
All right.
We've got Ridley Mountain at Geraldine.
I think Geraldine gets back on the winning track.
Yeah, I'm Geraldine all the way on that one. Victory Christian at Ider.
I think Ider wins this game.
I think you're right. I'm going with Ider to win the game. We got Sylvania at Asbury. Sylvania. I'm going that way. Appalachian at Valley Head.
I'll be surprised. I think Valley Head will beat them by 2 touchdowns at least, so maybe more.
I'm going Valley Head too. Madison County at North Jackson.
Well, I'm going to go with Madison County. They were on a roll, unless something I don't know about. After North Jackson struggled against Scottsboro, I'm just going to pick Madison County this week.
Yeah. Man, this was a tough pick for me. I like North Jackson's offense when it's clicking. And for some reason, it being homecoming, I think they're going to be clicking this week. So I'm going North Jackson. Next, we got North Sun Mountain at Pisgah.
I think North Sun Mountain's got too many horses.
Yeah, I do too. I'm going with North Sun Mountain too. We got Faultville at Section.
Faultville's got a really good football team this year. I'm going with Faultville.
I'm going with Faultville too. Cedar Bluff at Woodville.
I believe I picked Woodville at home. Yep.
Yeah. And I'm going with Cedar Bluff. I don't know why. That was a good one. That was one of those that was a toss-up.
You're just trying to prove that you're not copying mine.
That's right. I always get accused of that, so I decided to go out on a limb this week. And then we got, let's go back to our Mountain Valley News Game of the Week, and we'll do the college picks.
Okay.
We got Plainview hosting Fife.
I'm going with Plainview at home. That's all I'm going to say. I'm just going with Plainview at home.
Man, this is a tough game to pick.
It is.
Tough game to pick. But, sometimes you get these gut feelings. And I just think it's got, and I have a gut feeling it's going to be a really good football game.
Yeah.
And I'm picking Plainview in an upset.
Okay.
So, Alabama at Texas A&M.
Alabama.
I'm going Alabama. Auburn at Georgia.
I'm going with Georgia at home. I think they play better this week because they really struggled last week.
I'm going Georgia too, but I wouldn't be shocked if Auburn. I wouldn't be shocked if Auburn won.
Auburn, like I always say, the luck of the Auburn Tigers.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And then Missouri at Tennessee.
I'm going to go with Tennessee. I think he starts out 2-0 this year.
Yeah, I'm going with Tennessee too. I think they stretch it to 8-game winning streak.
Yep.
And still have the longest in the country. So that's this week, man. Some great football, and again, if you can't find a place to watch a football game this week, then you're not really looking for one. Some really good football. We hope you guys get out and enjoy some high school football, and then you got great college football on Saturday, and there's going to be some really good football games. Of course, Plainview 5. If you're going to go to that game, you better get there early because it's going to be packed.
It's going to be packed.
So we appreciate you guys tuning in, and we hope y'all have a great week. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy football. And we'll be right back here again next week to break down this week's games and talk about next week's games. And we hope y'all have a great weekend. God bless each one of you, and we will see you next week.
The City of Bridgeport.
Hey folks, this is Andy White down here at Bobby Ledbetter's Twin City, and I want to invite everybody to come down here and see us. We're located at 1015 Gulf Avenue South here in downtown Fort Payne, and I want everybody to come down and check out our inventory. Bobby always keeps the inventory refreshed. We've got new stuff coming in every single day, a lot of stuff going out every day. Listen, we appreciate everybody in the area coming down here, letting us earn your business. I'm telling you what, this year's been great for us, and every year we get nominated and then we get voted in as the best in DeKalb. So I want to tell everybody we appreciate y'all doing that for us. Let us know we're doing everything right. So y'all come down here and see us, 1015 Gulf Avenue South. You can shop us on the web at Twin City Used Cars, or you can just give us a call at 256-844-2210.